United we're as strong as a mountain. United we're as deep.
This is Steve Zeltzer with WorkWeek, and I'm talking with Scott Holdierson. He is an elected delegate to the UAW convention from a Ford local in Chicago and has been involved in the struggle for democracy and membership control in the local. Welcome to WorkWeek, Scott.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Steve. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to the folks listening to WorkWeek.
Why don't you talk about this convention? It's going to be the first convention in the history of the UAW where there's going to be nominations from the floor, from the rank and file, and you've faced this administrative caucus, which has been running the UAW for many, many years. You were able to get one member, one vote. How is that going to matter for the members of the UAW in this upcoming convention?
This convention should be much different than any other, just by the fact that we don't spend all day having an election, a roll call election at the convention. But make no mistake about it, the administration caucus is still in control of this union, and we're working diligently to find candidates that are willing to step out and try and run for international executive board offices, and we're looking forward to being able to nominate some good candidates at the Constitutional Convention.
And the issues that you face, I mean, there's been two-tier contracts. I think you raised this in your campaign when you were running for office in your local. There's this systemic corruption. Many of your national leaders have been sent to prison or convicted of theft. There's this labor management collaboration in the UAW with the companies that has ended up in paying off union officials. There's also the issue of organizing. Most of the plants in the South are still unorganized, and there's been a failure of the UAW to organize those plants. Last, there's the question of General Motors in Mexico. Silao plant and the workers there organizing a union. And I understand that the UAW has not invited them to come to participate in the convention.
Yeah, that's a disappointment is that they did not invite Israel from Cinta to the convention, and I'm not sure exactly why that would be. I mean, they issued a statement congratulating the workers at Silao on establishing an independent union. It baffles me why they would not have extended the invitation.
Do you think they're still
Israel.
in bed with General Motors? I mean, linking up directly with General Motors workers in Mexico or Ford workers in South Africa, taking joint action threatens these companies, I would think.
It may, but, we're a long way from that right now. I was able to meet Israel at the Labor Notes Conference last month, and he met several auto workers at that event. We need to continue that conversation and meet with rank and file between UAW members and Cinta members.
And your caucus, are you going to invite them up to come up and speak?
We would be happy to have them speak, but we don't have the funds to cover travel expenses, but the UAW does. So that's a problem. We have to reserve what funds we have for the upcoming organizing for the upcoming election, and keeping our caucus going during the election.
And I've heard that it's difficult to get in the convention. They're not going to stream it live. It seems like the bureaucracy is very much afraid of even the members knowing what's going on at the convention.
Well, we're going to do our best to make sure that the members do know what's going on. They've made it more difficult to get guest passes and press passes, and but we are still working on getting those for people that are going to help with our social media. We plan to broadcast much of the convention. We'll probably leave out the long speeches from politicians, but when delegates are speaking about what their members want, we want that captured. So we're going to have several people charged with social media broadcasts and try and make sure that the members can see what's taking place at the convention.
And the conditions that you and other auto workers have faced, COVID, have been devastating. Is this issue of health and safety an important issue in the UAW for your members?
It is a important issue, but to be perfectly honest, I think most auto workers think that COVID is gone. We know it's not. The reports indicate that it's not. But the companies have relaxed their standards, and the workers are happy to not have to wear masks.
And the issue of two-tier and organizing the South, is that going to be an issue at the convention?
Two-tier is going to be an issue. It has been an issue at multiple conventions. And organizing the South is going to be impossible until we get our own house in order. How do you organize workers when you have the abuse of temporary workers in UAW contract, when you have tiered an 8-year wage progression with no pension in UAW contracts? How do you attract workers under those circumstances? We have a lot of work to do to dissipate the cloud that hangs over the UAW right now, and we're diligently working to repair our reputation, and it's going to take membership control to repair that reputation. Once we repair that reputation and start actually winning contract improvements instead of contract concessions, I think we can go back and try and organize the South again. Organize the transplants wherever they're at, because they're not all in the South anymore.
And you live in Indiana. There's a growing fascist movement in this country, attempted insurrection and coup. Is that an issue for UAW members, the danger of a coup and insurrection and fascist rising movement in the country, massacres of blacks and others?
It should be. It should be an issue for the UAW. It should be an issue for our members. But I think a lot of our members, not a majority, but a sizable amount of our members have fallen under the spell of the fascism.
And how is that reflected? Do they have a candidate? Is there a candidate supporting those politicians?
I'm not gonna call any particular candidates fascist, but that part of it, they may have a candidate that they prefer.
How many candidates are there running in the election for president of the UAW?
We don't know yet. We won't know until after nominations are completed on Wednesday of the convention. I believe that's the 27th, July 27th.
And to get nominated, what does it require?
One delegate. The same as before. All it takes is a delegate to put your name into nomination. And you have to be vetted by the monitor to make sure that you're not associating with criminal elements, such as the ones that ran our union into the ground. You also have to be vetted for your make sure that you are legally allowed under the LMRDA to hold office. But other than that, it just takes one delegate to put anybody in nomination.
There have been a number of strikes in the UAW this past year and a half, where the internationals tried to push concession contracts. Is that reflected in workers being angry about concession bargaining by the UAW International?
I think it is, but we'll find out how reflective it is this fall when the ballots are cast.
And you say you're going to be streaming this live?
Yeah, we are UAW-D, Unite All Workers for Democracy. We'll have several live streams. People tend to lose interest if you live stream continuously, so we'll probably try and do just chunks of it. When delegates are speaking to an issue or speaking to a amendment, we'll try and capture that. And, that way, people can go back and review how their delegates spoke, at least at the convention, if they can't find out how they voted.
Yeah, in the AFT and some other unions are actually streaming it live for the members. I mean, your members pay for that convention, don't they? Shouldn't they have the right to watch the convention?
Yeah. I don't know what the UAW is going to do, what the International Executive Board, shall I say, is going to do. But we are going to do our best to peel away the curtain and let the members see the debates on the important issues of the day.
And one area the UAW has been growing on is the graduate students in California. There have been thousands of graduate students and doctorate students. Is that a growth area, and what role are they playing in the UAW?
That is a growth area, and they many have stepped forward to demand reforms. So we'll see how it all plays out at the convention. But I feel good about having those workers in our union. But we have to get back to the basics of organizing the manufacturing sector. The electrical vehicles are going to take fewer parts, and the companies have shown their inclination to try and get out of the master agreements for the Detroit auto manufacturers by working in joint ventures. Even if the auto company has a 80 or 90% stake in it, they use that as a false flag to try and say, well, you have to organize these workers and negotiate a different contract for them than other auto workers.
And the UAW has not have mobilized against the fascist movement. At the AFL-CIO convention, there was a resolution by the Vermont AFL-CIO for a general strike against any threatened insurrection or coup. Where do you think the UAW should stand on that, since the likelihood is the Republicans are going to take control of Congress and possibly the presidency this coming election year?
Well, if they take control through the electoral process rather than through a coup, we have to respect that. But we also have to be prepared to make sure that just because they're in office doesn't mean that they get to roll back the rights that people in this country have fought and protested and agitated to win. Those rights have been rolled back, but we're still far ahead of where we were at the founding of this country. So we have to make sure that there's no further rollback.
And there is a lot of anger among working people against both the Democrats and Republicans. A lot of workers are angry about Biden, the promises the Democrats made around national health care, many other issues, and the inflation, now the gas prices. You supported Bernie Sanders. You wanted a political alternative. You think it's time that workers talk about the issue of a labor party, of a working class party for the working class in this country?
Certainly that has to be on the table. We have to be more selective about who we endorse in these elections. But, until we're willing to actually have democratic procedures in the Senate, we're going to be hamstrung because the minority has been able to hold up any progress. And, we have a lot of corporate Democrats that have been happy to go along with that.
Okay, well, Scott, why don't you tell us how we can go to your website and get the streaming that you're going to be doing at the UAW convention?
Sure. Our website is UAW-D.org, but streaming is going to be primarily on Facebook, and our Facebook page is Unite All Workers for Democracy.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for joining us on WorkWeek, Scott, and we hope our listeners tune in and learn about what's happening at the convention. So thanks for joining us on WorkWeek.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk with you and your listeners.